Yeah, we skipped that intro music.
We play with buttons again. Happy Fishy Friday, people.
Raheem says, start the live stream early as I start it up. I'm starting it. I tell you what, at 6 o'clock, I'll come in and I'll play the music and start the show like normal. Right now, we're just playing with buttons and doing things. So
bye.
I lost that. Oh.
We're back.
There we go. Cool. Okay, so I'm set up now. You guys can hear everything good. It looks good. Hey. Oh, yeah. Evo says all clear. Good. Good deal. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody. 1 second here. Change things a little bit. Move this one over here.
We're still playing with buttons.
It's what I do. I fix stuff. I make stuff better, Jerry.
Welcome, Jessica, to the goldfish.
Oh, you just jumped out from 19 to 40 people. Oh, we got 3 more minutes before the show starts. Oh, Bambi's here this week. She wasn't here last week.
They can see and hear us right
now. Yeah, they can.
That's what I thought.
All right. 2 more minutes.
There you go. Music button.
So I hit the music button to start the show. This is all just early access.
We'll get your guitar.
I was saying something to Jerry. I was like, there's 19 people here. I don't want to start it early. There's 19 people and 10 of them are our mods. Everybody's blue in the chat.
Yeah, it looks like a wrench convention up there.
Right.
With the names.
Oh, wow. Rick Farrell says, greetings from Australia. Thank you for everything you do for us and for the fish. You blokes are amazing. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Make us glad we started early.
Yeah, a little bit. We got another minute and a half. Hannah Patricia Davis says, I collect seashell. Okay. I work on cars. I mow lawns. I take care of people. Uh-oh. Sue Ann said she went to see AC/DC last night. Tell me it was still a good show. Tell me it wasn't a geezer show. They still do good? Sound good?
Streaming right now. Doing well, thank you, Raheem.
Tyler Kerr says it's Best Fishy Fridays today. It's my 11th year anniversary. Well, happy anniversary. Missed the last 2 weeks, and I feel bad. Well, you should.
Busy day today. It's Reaper's birthday and Phil's birthday.
Yeah, Phil's birthday and Reaper's. And Tyler's. All right, guys, it's time to start the show. Let me get this going. All All right, everybody, welcome to the Stay Fishy Friday live stream. That's a mouthful, you know. Welcome to my live stream. Should just be that's simple. So, how's everybody doing? It's been a long week. Make sure the vocals and everything's good. You know. Yeah, everybody's saying happy birthday, Reaper, Tyler, Phil. So everybody's birthday today. So let me see. We got lots to talk about this week. We got a lot done out there, and even today I put out a 41-minute video of just doing stuff, not even real work, just stuff around the building here we need to get done. Oh, and right off the rip, Harley Gem says the legacy mentioned. Oh, shoot. It's out of here. Paku being in the tank in a video. I had someone else text me about a half hour ago saying that they were just there and didn't see them in a tank. I have left messages and I've called. No one's answering my calls. I don't know what's going on, if they're busy or they're mad at me. Something, I don't know. All I know is they're not answering my calls, so I haven't been able to find out nothing. I was so being prepared to, you know, give you guys answers this week, and I didn't find out nothing. That's crazy.
Those videos are weeks old. Some of them might be.
Yeah. Jessica says hi there. Huge fan of you guys. All the hard work you put into saving those fish. First time Friday live with you for me. Oh, well, welcome, Jessica.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a fun time. We get to hang out and, you know, everyone talks to everybody.
And she just joined as a goldfish.
Prince Vino says, I'm using the excuse my fish are pregnant. It's good enough excuse to get me out of jury duty. Drinking word. Tonight it's going to be Tracy.
Tracy?
Tracy. Drink up.
I was going to suggest music.
What were you going to suggest?
Some music.
Music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, during the Tracy report, I might as well get me a straw.
Right. Somebody said Rod's, you know, streaming the same time we do. Usually we're not on the same time. So sorry if you guys are stuck over, you know, watching there and here. But, you know.
More power to you.
More power to you. Rod's a good guy, but, you know why?
Something special he has to do. He has something.
I'll answer this because it's Reaper. It's his birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah, I was seeing if you were stopping by. Okay. Raheem says, Tracy. Drink up, everybody.
That's the drinking word.
It is 6:04. I'm on the live. And the only reason I answered it is because it's your birthday. That's all right. Matt LeMay says, Reaper isn't old, he's vintage. We're already talking about you. Sue Ann says, happy birthday, Reaper. Bambi McCluskey says, happy birthday. I mean, everyone was saying happy birthday, so you're going to make an appearance here, right?
Harley Gem says, happy birthday, Repet.
He's on his way out now, and he's going to make an appearance on the live stream for you guys.
Uh-oh.
Raheem says, happy birthday, Reaper. Come to OFR. He already is. All right. I'll see you when you get here, bud. All right, bye.
Excuse me.
God bless you.
Oh. That wasn't an evil thought. That was a blessing. Ooh.
Okay. So the drinking word is Tracy. We're going to talk about Tracy. We got the Tracy update. And people can't keep up with me saying Tracy.
I'm 10 drinks behind already.
Harley Jem said the same thing. Too many Tracy's already.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah. OBG Foster says, Reaper, remember to get gas. I didn't mention it to him. He might not remember. Same thing with Deb Charge. Tell Reaper to check the gas gauge. See, you people know him so well. I'm scared to go anywhere with him. I asked him, did you get gas? Yes. You got the keys? Yes. Okay. You got the address where we're going? Yes. Okay. We get in the car, and I check myself. I look over, and there's no gas. Well, you told me you got gas. Well, I'm going to.
Traveling with Reaper is an adventure. We grabbed the gas cans to go get gas for the house here. And on the way to the gas station, we were running on fumes. And I was so glad it was downhill that last block.
You know what? I've ended up on the side of the Interstate 80, the turnpike. I've ended up on the side of the road coming from Chicago because Reaper's driving. And I even did a thing. We were out in some place, we were doing a rescue, and it took us 2 days. First day, Reaper drove there with the trailer and back. We had to stop 3 times for gas. The second day, I drove. And I showed Reaper how to drive. You don't have to, just because you want to change lanes, you don't have to go and move over. You know, you just, I tell him like this. You got the cruise control on 65, and you just look over there, and you just fade on over. You don't have to floor it and downshift and you move over. You don't have to do none of this. I swear to God, I got there and back on 1 tank where it took Reaper 3. And I was like, you know, it's your driving that's costing all this gas, you know. And he was like, no. I was against the wind. You were with them. No, I drove there and back. I don't want to hear it.
Matt LeMay says no picking on Reaper.
Not picking on him, just saying how things are. Tyler's right. Rich has to have the nearest gas station searched on his phone when Reaper's driving. Hell yeah. All right. Nick Hybe says, Jerry looking great.
Thank you.
I guess, for the crypt keeper. You gonna kick me under the table, ain't you?
It ain't gonna be under the table.
Oh no.
There you go jumping.
Yeah. Well, I'm using the mouse.
Ah, you're catching it better.
Will Star. He's here. What's up, Will Star? Says Reaper had to go uphill both ways.
Yeah, right. Now, the real trick is when Reaper's out there by himself, he takes all the back roads, the scenic country. And I enjoy it. It's just fine. He doesn't sit on the highway nice and pace.
Dude, I was trying to catch a little bit of sleep when we were going to New York, I think it was. And I wake up and, you know, we're going downhill and it looks like we're flying, right? And then Reaper's like, whoa, whoa. There's no street lights. It's Pennsylvania. It's just dirt, or I'm sorry, the highway and then surrounded by woods. There's no street lights. And I'm like, Reaper, what are you doing? He goes, well, we're at 99. I want to see if I can break 100. I'm like, what's the sense in that? Slow down. We'll get there.
Wake up and the car's on fire like that crazy movie.
He don't understand. His lead foot actually costs more in gas because it's constantly, you know, high revving, you know, the motor. When I have it in overdrive, I don't even kick down on overdrive. If I want to go from 70 to 75, I'll give it a little bit more gas and wait for the van to catch up. And it'll eventually get there in overdrive.
Y'all getting this driving lesson?
Reaper wants to push the pedal to the metal, downshift 2 gears, make the motor come up to, you know, 6,000 RPM to get to, you know, 70 to 75 right now. And then he lets off and goes back into overdrive.
Only if I'm trying to pass the pack.
Right.
Oh, Matt LeMay says new hat. No, it's not a new hat by any means. This hat's old. I know it's older than I am because my dad bought it before I was born.
Oh, wow.
This is my father's hat. And I wear it pretty much, except for the brim of it. It's getting all salty on the inside.
Prince Carthon says, Jessica, didn't you know that Reaper or Jerry is Reaper's dad?
No, that one's been played already. So
Too funny.
I'm old enough to be Rich's dad, but not Reaper's.
And welcome, Ashley. She's late. Raheem says, Will Star come to OFR. Will Star don't travel anywhere out of his house. He promises he's going to be here and then he don't show up. So just leave Will Star alone. Oh, I love this. Whips World comes in. So let's get tanked. I like that. It's a new catch line. I like that.
Yeah, you should have been here the day that we had tanked for a drinking work.
Yeah.
We got tanked. Today we're going to get Tracy.
Okay, now this makes sense here. Isaiah Llewellyn says, I grew up in the country. Grandma taught me never let the gas below half a tank. Now, there's reasons for that, and I'll explain that in a minute. In case of emergency, had to be able to get all the way to the hospital or an hour away, without stopping for gas. Well, that makes sense there,
Yeah.
because, some of the country roads in place, you drive forever before you get into place.
Yeah, that's why
But here's another thing. When you let your gas get all the way to the bottom, all the rust and dirt that settles at the bottom of the tank now gets sucked up and brought in and dirties up your filter, and then you get it sucks a hole through it basically eventually, and you're getting filth and dirt in there, and now you're gumming up your injectors or your carburetor, whatever you want. It's never good to let it go below quarter tank. Always have gas in there. Not to mention, what if you need to wake up in the middle of the night in an emergency and to take somebody to the hospital? You don't have time to stop for gas. Well, every time I get in my van, that sucker's on empty, below empty. And I'm scared if I can make it to a gas station, because, Reaper's the last one that drove it. I tried telling him, here's a gallon gas can. Keep it full of gas in the car. You know what he does? He drives until he runs out of gas, and he uses that gallon of gas can, never fills it back up. We're back where we started. But that's not how you use that gallon of gas.
the real reason that you don't trust those gas gauges? Because nobody trusted them gas gauges.
Yeah.
They may say you still got a half a tank, and that damn thing's empty.
Well, here's the thing. When Reaper says, oh, we're only on E, we got plenty of time, I kind of, believe him, because he's done it a million times.
Yeah. I still tend to run off the top half of the tank, or at least the top 3/4.
So on he says cruise control is a great, invention. See, I do that. I set it 4 miles above the speed limit, and I drive all the way to New York or all the way to Chicago, all the way to California on that cruise control, and I don't worry about getting pulled over. It's just great. It's nice. I don't have to worry.
That's the difference in a generation. My cruise control's in my right ankle. I'm uncomfortable not having my foot on
Lou Shelton's here. What's up, buddy?
Oh, member for 33 months, another goldfish.
Hannah Davis says, Big Rich, where can I get a big fish? You know what? I think I know a place. You got to be able to travel to
if you're willing to come pick up.
Yeah, Ohio. Ouch.
Oh, good luck, guys. Sorry, I'm reading.
Harley said she's waiting on a call back from Legacy too.
No, I wasn't talking about that. She said something about bunch of young peacocks.
Yeah. There's another thing. Bill Lynch brought up a very good point. Your fuel pump on all these newer cars are located inside your gas tank. And when you don't have no gas in there, there's nothing cooling that motor off. That thing is submerged and it keeps it cool. So there's another reason not to run low on gas, because that fuel pump is running in there, you know, and like with any pump, you take a water pump out of the water and it runs and there's nothing to cool it. It's going to get hotter and hotter and hotter until it melts off.
Let me guess, Bill, you're a mechanic or you speak from burning one up?
Everybody's saying, I hope, you know, Shauna feels better, so she must be sick. Sorry to hear that. Oh. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
All right. Friend says Dutch vegetables are good for smoking. The hell?
All right, you can smoke vegetables.
How old is Reaper turning? I don't know.
69?
113? So he's turning 69?
I believe so.
What a
I
year.
think that's what I heard. I'm 75. Or will
Me,
be.
I'm Big Rich.
I'm
I'm
74.
35.
I'll be 75. What's my drink of choice? Gatorade? No, actually, I
Yeah,
like
you don't really drink.
I like Coca-Cola. If I'm drinking, but coffee. Well, I don't drink anything alcohol. Excuse me, I didn't even make the connection.
Yeah,
No,
next week is Aquascape in Dallas. We will not be attending. I can't get away for the weekend. I tried. They're offering me, you know, free room in the hotel and all that, and you know, the same accommodations they always offer me, but I just couldn't make it to, you know, for the weekend to get away. Tyler says, since no one's asked, how is Big Rich and Reaper's dad? I mean, Jerry doing?
You can't light up.
Whoops World says, damn, y'all are old. Raheem says, Big Rich, you're still young. I'm the youngest of my crowd. That's how I feel young.
I'm not old, I'm high mileage.
He worn out.
Definitely not going to be under the table.
Bambi says, we can do a lot slow and stop and reverse a lot. We've come a long way really quickly. It's nuts. And I'm 41. Well, Bambi, you're 41 and I'm 61. And I picked your ass up and held you for a picture. Remember the gravel cookies? The Skylers?
Yeah.
Poor Bambi spent hours making these vegan cookies for us.
Yeah, I know.
And Skylar reached out to grab the tray, and Bambi let it go, and Skylar just hit the ground. And she was so mortified, you know, just meeting Bambi and everything.
I ate a couple anyway later.
And she's like, oh, they're okay, they're okay. She picked them up off the gravel, started eating them. She's like, picking them up, putting them back on the tray.
Rudy Jean says you're as old as you feel.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're as old as it makes you feel.
Oh, Lori's here. Hi, Lori.
Yeah, Larry.
Loren says Bambi is 41. She is cute. Tracy says, Rich, you're older than me, and I thought I was older than you. She's 57. Yeah. Will Star wants to know if you ever golfed.
I'm guilty of driving balls out over the freeway.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
Once.
That's not playing golf.
No, it's not. But that's as close as I've ever came. I used to enjoy playing the little miniature golf with the kids. That was always fun. But as far as golf, no, not my kind of game.
He was 47. I thought you were older than that.
Yeah.
Oh, we got the Tracy update coming soon. We got 169 people on so far. Yep, and Joanne comes in with the Tracy. That's 5. Keep
All
up,
right,
people.
Tracy, everybody. I'm just asking me what I was drinking, and I guess I got to be honest with you people. I don't drink. I smoke.
Yeah. Stephen Bundle's here. What's up, buddy? Says happy Fishy Friday, Big Rich. Did you and Paco have an enjoyable Cinco de Mayo holiday? Not really. The holidays ain't really holidays here without Tracy. You know, the kids have their own families and doing their thing. And, you know, last time I tried celebrating a holiday was New Year's Eve. And that's when that crazy lady woke up from her dream and called the police and said that I was beating her up.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I mean, that was the craziest night. I'm sitting downstairs with Skylar,
Sorry.
Skylar's brother, his friends, Skylar's mother and father. We were downstairs for like an hour waiting for the ball to drop, you know, New Year's Eve. And she comes running downstairs and talking about how she's calling the cops and, you know, she ain't putting up with me trying to beat her up and kill her dog. And we all looked at each other like, what? What are you talking about? She woke up from a dream and thought it was real. It's the only thing we can come up with.
Unfortunately, it took a year to realize that.
Yeah.
I mean, we are at the moment, man, as far as everybody's concerned, you just flipped.
Dude, she flipped out.
You in a different world here, girl.
What's funny was she's telling the cops how I took her dog outside in the storm and was slamming him into the ground. And she got this little Yorkshire Terrier.
Yeah.
And the cop's like, all right, where's the dog at? And Skylar was holding him right behind the cop. And she goes, here he is. And the cop took him and he was dry as a bone, you know. And if I was slamming him into the ground like she said I was, he'd be scared of me. I reached right out and he came right to me, you know. And she's like, there's my baby. You know, get him away from him. And the cops took the dog. And, I mean, she was just, all the cops, there was like 15 cops here. And they all knew that she was loony, you know.
Yeah.
But at first they were going to arrest me because, you know, there's a woman saying that you hit her. Well, that was crazy. So that's why we don't have, do we say your name?
What?
Do we say your name?
Never mind.
That's why we don't have Kathy here no more. I kicked her out that night and that was it.
Well, you can no longer trust her not to flip out again. Even if you.
Well, now we're talking about my freedom. And if I go to jail, who's watching Tracy?
She just about locked things down.
You know what was funny? She's so out there. And, you know, we never knew. She was on her meds. Maybe she was off her meds this night. I don't know. But everyone in her family was like, you know, she's loony, you know, this and that. And we're like, no, she's fine. She takes care of the plants, you know, she's this and that. And then when she did that, you know, freaked out like that and tried to put me in jail, you know, I was like, whoa, you know, this is some crazy stuff. And I'm trying to read this while I'm going.
Yeah, I know.
Where was I going with that? So you know, she may have been off her meds, and then you know she had this dream, and then that's the only thing I can come up with because I never touched her. And we were downstairs all them hours. You know, she came at like 11:54, like a couple minutes before midnight. We're downstairs ready to count down the ball, and she come down there doing that, and the cops are coming. We're like, what? It was like somebody walked in the room and the old record player went, "Err," and all music stopped. You know, that's what it seemed like. It was crazy.
You know, it's real crazy. I slept through the whole damn thing.
Yeah, you did.
The police didn't even know I was here.
Oh, oh, oh.
Mark thinks the drinking word is still tank. Boy, he goes back a ways.
Yeah, Mark. And drinking
You-
words,
you-
Tracy,
you're a couple
Tracy,
of weeks
Tracy.
behind, boy. We'll call that a Tracy for you.
Oh, so that's what we're getting at was I don't really celebrate holidays now. You know, my kids are busy, and then you know I was celebrating holidays still. Tracy's down, but I had all these people around. I'll celebrate with them, you know. And it just now it's like I gotta stay at a level of soberness to where I can protect myself, you know. Oh, and that's what she did. That night, the cops took her out of here because she had not one mark on her. She said I punched her in her nose. Yeah, she said I punched her in her stomach. She said I threw her down. I grabbed her by the throat. There would be marks of any of this. And none of this happened. I had company all night, you know. So then the next day, Reaper calls me. He's like, dude, I didn't tell him none of this happened. He goes, dude, what did you do to Kathy? I'm like, what are you talking about? She sent me pictures. She's all messed up. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he sent me the pictures. And I swear to God, this is what it looks like. It looks like somebody took their fingernails and scratched straight down her throat. You can see 4 bloody lines down her throat. I'm like, oh my God, Reaper. Trust me, this is after the fact because if there was a mark on her yesterday when all them cops were here, I would have been arrested, whether I was guilty or not. She said I did it, and, you know, the cops couldn't find no marks on her. This crazy lady woke up today and scratched herself and still trying to say that I did this to her. I was like, so when, you know, they called, her family called and wanted to know if she can come over and pick up her stuff. I'm like, absolutely not. You can send anybody else, any of your family, any of your friends, bring the police with you, come pick up her stuff. She is not coming back in this driveway, you know, period. Tyler says, oh, that's why Jerry's always smiling.
That's also why Jerry slept through something like that.
Right.
Now,
Jessica says, do you guys have a solution for swim bladder problems with fish?
no.
There's really no solution other than, you know, you can try giving them all the meds that they suggest on the internet and all this and that. 99% of the time, it does not work. When they start floating because they can't fight it no more and they're floating, this works 50% of the time, and I don't suggest it. But you can get a needle and you can feel around and find the softest area to go in. Because if you push on it and there's something hard there, there's internal organs there.
When
But
he says needle, he means a syringe.
A syringe.
Needle.
Oh, not like it. Yeah, no, you got to have a syringe. And you move the skin into where the skin moves easy, and there's air behind it. You go under a scale and you stab into the skin, and then you pull out the plunger, and you sit there, and you know you can watch the air bubbles come out underwater, and you squeeze the affected area where it's you know bulbousy, and you get all that air out. 50% of the time, they wake up and they're fine the next day. You know. The other 50%, too much stress. They're in it already stressed, and then we stress them more by doing that. And they look good. They go down, they swim around, they're not floating no more. And you're like, okay, he's going to make it. You wake up in the morning, he's dead. I can't give you no better than 50% of the time.
The point is, by the time they flip up like that, they've already worn themselves out trying to fight it.
Right.
and they're all in so much stress already. All you've got left is well, this will either kill you or cure you.
Hannah Davis says, Big Rich, you look good. And you too, Jerry.
Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hannah Patricia Davis. That's too many names.
See, Ashley knows. She knows the backstory now. I would have kicked her out when she got there and she didn't help with Tracy like she claimed she would.
Yeah, well, that's a whole nother avenue.
Yeah. Well, see, she promised the world and then she gets here and then couldn't do nothing. So we found something because I don't want to kick somebody out. You're here. You try and do this. Try and do that. Let's get you to do something where you're paying for your room. So she supposedly took over being the plant lady for a while. Then she was supposed to weed eat all the beds and all that stuff. And the only thing she kept up on was rolling her smokes. That's it. She was forever smoking, forever on the back deck, and it was too much. I'm down to one smoker in the house, and that's Jerry, and he's learned the rules. He's outside. Other than that, having 2 and 3 smokers in the house was too much for me. I mean, they'd all walk in together, and then your house that's don't smell like that starts to smell like that, and you can't even be in your own kitchen because it stinks of cigarette smoke because they're all breathing, and they don't smell it, but a person that don't smoke does, And I'm like, if I can smell it, then it's getting in Tracy's lungs. There are people, and I'll give you this. Some smokers, you don't even smell that they smoke, And then there's other smokers that have clouds around them and they just stink of cigarettes nonstop everywhere they go. They walk through the room, you're like, oh, Jesus. So, I mean, there's different people. I don't know. She was one of those that just stunk like it was horrible. Okay, we're up to 192. Someone mark down the timeline, and we'll start the Tracy update. Drink up. So I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so let's start this Tracy update. This week, has been so much nicer than last week. Last week, we had the nurse call off, and I had to do 4 16-hour shifts in a row. And I didn't find out till the last minute, so I was getting ready to go to bed after my second 16-hour shift, and that's when I got the call. No, they're not coming in tonight. Now I gotta, watch 16 hours. So next morning, I got a little bit of sleep. Did the next 16 hours, and it was rough. I was running on empty, to say the least. And then Tracy wasn't, doing that good, and blah blah blah. So this week here, the nurses have all showed up. I've gotten caught up in my sleep, and Tracy's doing so good. She's out there right now, probably at about 98, 99. She's just doing good. She's coughing it out on her own. She's doing good. I have talks with her every day, and even today, and this is the first time this has happened. This was today. I tell you guys, she's in like this. What do you want to call it? Moments of clarity when she will, blink her eyes for me. She does listen to me, this and that. And then today she was just gone. She was staring off into space like this. And I'm like, honey, I reached down, I grabbed her head and I'm talking to her. I'm like, listen, baby, you got it. Can you just look at me? Let me know that you're there and you can hear me. And, she didn't do nothing. She was still staring off the other way. And I'm like, honey, you need to let me know that you can understand me. And it seemed like she was fighting like, I don't know, like a robot was being held back by a rope and it was still trying to go forward. She was fighting, turning her head because she wanted to look off this way and stare. What she does, she goes like this. And then, I'm over here. And then finally, she just kept on turning her head ever so slowly. And finally, she looked at me. I'm like, oh my God, this is the first time you've done that. I've gotten you out of your, I call them robotic movements, you know, where she's just staring off this way or something, you know, and she's not really with you. She came out of that and looked at me because I kept on begging her to look at me and show me she's there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a huge step forward, Tracy, because, you know, usually when she's in that robotic mood, I'm just like, okay, there's no getting to her. You know, I have to catch her in her moments of clarity. And this is the first time I was able to talk her out of that. She did look at me, you know, it was amazing. I was so happy with that today. To me, that's not a baby step. That's a big step. Where if she can be aware and alert at all times instead of just in a few times a day, you know, that's so much better. So I'm going to keep on working with her during that. Every time I see her, she does this thing with her eyes where, you know, if she's doing good, she'll sit there and her eyes are looking at the TV, or I'll walk in the room, start talking, and her eyes will come over to me. That's normal. That's a moment of clarity. She's doing good. But you walk into the room and she's like staring off this way, and her eyes are going from the down bottom to the up top, down bottom to the up top, down bottom to the up top. I'm like, oh, she's gone. She's not, you can't reach her. Today I reached her. She stopped that and she turned and looked at me, and it was amazing. This was a big step for me. I can't emphasize how good that is to you guys because it seems like it's just a simple thing. But, you know, I was hoping for more moments of clarity. And here I got through to her when she was gone. You know, that was a good thing. I love that. That made me feel so good, you know. And so then I started telling her about, you know, I always tell her, you know, you have a granddaughter now. You deserve to come back. You need to come back. You need to work, honey. You know, I miss you. You know, life's not the same without you. All this stuff. And I tell her this all the time in case maybe she wasn't coherent the last time I told her. You know, I want her to, you know, if she wakes back up, I want her to know that, you know, she can tell me I heard you, you know. I don't know. I'm happy with the way she's progressed. I mean, do we want it faster? Of course. But I mean, to me, I was getting worried that she was taking like a break and hitting a plateau where she's not going to get no better. And then this huge breakthrough today. You know, so now I know, give her like 3 to 5, maybe 6 seconds after hearing a command to respond, you know, when she's not in a moment of clarity, you know. So that was huge to me. So and then let me see what else. Oh, talk to Latrice. She's such a great nurse. I mean, best nurse ever. She's such a sweetheart. She's such a good lady. She's such a good person. And she cares so much about Tracy. Calls Tracy her little Tracy bear, you know. And I talked to her today because now it's getting to be, you know, up in the higher 60s, going to be in the 70s soon. We can start walking Tracy around the block. So I brought out the other wheelchair and showed her how it holds the oxygen. And I made a bracket that holds the suction machine. And everything is right here at your fingertips. And we can take her out there. The only problem with that chair, as opposed to the new one is a tilt space. You grab 2 handles and you can lower her back. And she can move from like a sitting up position to a laying back position. This other chair don't, but it's got the big wheels on it. And that's what we need to get through the gravel, over cracks on the road and all that. You know, this little chair that she's got that tilt in space, it's for like in the house. It's got 4 small, you know, 5-inch wheels. And it's terrible outside. So I showed her how, you know, I pre-made these brackets for her and all this stuff. So we're going to start taking Tracy around the block now, because I haven't been really serious about my diet, but I really tried the last 4 days. I went 2 days without eating nothing. And then, you know, I drank a little bit, so I ate some hot dogs. And I was mad, you know. I was mad at myself. And Jerry was like, well, you didn't eat that much, and you didn't eat them with bread, so, you know, it's pretty good. So, but now I've gone another 2 days without eating, and I want to go as far as I can and lose a bunch of weight real quick and then get on a healthy diet from there. It seems to me I lose more weight when I eat small amounts all the time, 3, 4 meals a day, instead of for ease of access. I'm so busy. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this. Let's sit down and make one big meal and we'll eat a lot. And, I was eating like that for years. And that just seems to just lay on the fat, let me tell you. So, oh, it jumped.
I don't got wings yet.
Oh, yeah, they're all talking about Tracy now. Oh, Nick Ivy says, any more dreams? No, I haven't. Other than them 3 that I had, and then Richie had a dream. I haven't had any since then. But I went through all last week, barely getting any sleep. So I'm caught up on my sleep now. I'll start having dreams again. When you're that tired and you get 3 hours, you're just dead to the world. You don't dream. You don't. Tracy says, that's the best news, Rich. You just made my night. Thank you. Made my day today, let me tell you. Hannah says she lives in Beloit, Wisconsin. You know where that's at?
That's just, yeah, kind of. It's outside of Milwaukee. It's one of those, I believe. I was way north of that.
Matt says, I remember you telling me about that story. You were telling me some lady went crazy saying you tried to kill her, and I thought you were drunk or something. No, it really happened. Lori says, Sue-Ann, when you coming to the rescue again? Jessica says, you made contact with Tracy today. Wonderful moment. That is a gift. Yes. I could never reach her before. I had to wait for her moments of clarity. Now I can break her out of that robotic movement, and she turned to me, and she's there. So I mean, I definitely made a breakthrough today. I definitely, not me, she did. I just, it was so awesome. Bob Taylor says, huge, Rich. Wow. Tyler says, Rich, you're doing great. Just remember, like Higby said, one of the immortal worlds of Joe Dirt would keep on keeping on, brother. Keep your head held high and keep doing what you're doing. It's been a long 4.5 years. It's I was actually starting to, thinking she's hitting a plateau and she's not going to get no better than this. And then she made this big breakthrough. That's my girl. Gracie says, Rich, I'd have an extra power wheelchair. Oh, geez, it jumped on there. How far back did it go? Okay. I'd have an extra power wheelchair if needed. It needs batteries, but it works great. I actually have her a powered wheelchair that was like super expensive and super nice, and it's just sitting in the basement. She needs to control it. The controls are like right here on her hand, like a joystick. I can't like push it behind her, so we have that when we need it. I appreciate the offer. Thank you. Find someone that really needs it, and that would be awesome. Give it to them. Nick said you deserve that. What the hell? But see, I hit the scale and I reached, what was my, let me see, I can get to this, how much it was. I forgot when I hit that high point again. I'm like, no, no, no. I have an app here for the scale. It keeps track of my, was it last view? I think this is it. I don't know, but it was like,
get a big slice of butter pecan
oh
cheesecake
my God, this guy.
and set it down in front of this man and see what happens.
I just started. I'd gone 24 hours without eating, and Jerry was talking to me about this amazing cheesecake he had from this place, you know. And you know, I love cheesecake, and I don't like ruining the flavor of the cheesecake with additives like raspberry cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake, caramel cheesecake. They're all good in their own sense. I love all those flavors, but I want my cheesecake to taste like cheesecake. So I never really liked mixing colors or mixing flavors. And then he said, which my favorite kind of ice cream is butter pecan. He found a butter pecan cheesecake. And I'm like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And then, you know, I come
I
out.
didn't get it for you.
I come out of my bedroom and he's like, here's, and I'm thinking it's a breakfast sandwich, you know? And I'm like, well, maybe I could eat the piece of meat off and I can't eat no bread or nothing like that. And I'll open it up and it was a brown looking cheesecake looking thing. And I smell cheesecake. I'm like, oh my God, this is cheesecake? He goes, yeah, that's that butter pecan cheesecake. I'm like, oh my God. Jerry, love you, bro, but I can't eat this, you know? I've wasted 24 hours of no eating. I don't want to ruin it now. So what I did was I took a little bit off of the tip, the very, you know, where the points go together. I took a forkful off of there, of a brand new fork, and I took that and I'm like, Jerry, take this back. You enjoy this. I'm going to taste this. And what I did was I took it to the sink. I ran it through my mouth. I smeared it all over. It tasted amazing. And I spit it out. So I didn't have it in my system, you know. And so Jerry's got his cheesecake. I got to taste it, but I couldn't stop talking about the flavor of it. The pecans were like...
He's like Carter. He didn't inhale either.
The pecans were so soft. They were not hard and crunchy.
Oh, no.
It was the best cheesecake I have tasted. And I am willing to throw away my old adage. If once I'm off my diet, I'm getting that cheesecake again. I'm going to eat it. Anna says, what kind of illness does Tracy have? She suffered a cardiac arrest and died.
Watch the old videos, people. Please.
I'll just give her a Reader's Digest real quick.
Yeah,
she died from a cardiac arrest, which later we found out was from lack of blood. But without the blood there, the what do you call that? CPR didn't do well. So she was gone for like 8 minutes with no oxygen, or what little oxygen I did, because I did CPR on her the whole time until the medics got here. And you know, they got her back and brought her back, but she got something called anoxic brain injury, where your brain starts dying from lack of oxygen. When we got her to the hospital, we found out she was so low on blood that, you know, they gave her 3 pints the first day and then 2 pints the second day. And she's only, you know, 99 pounds, 101 at some points. She was way lower in blood than she needed to be. She had an esophageal tear from coughing so much from being sick, and she bled into her stomach, and you know, she kept on puking that out. But because she wasn't taking her medication, she was also in a delusional period where she didn't know who I was. So she didn't know she was puking out blood. She would just come out of the bathroom going, I puked my brains out, and I put her back to bed, you know. And that's basically how that all happened. It was a terrible steps of just terrible events that added up to where it was a senseless loss of life right there. And we're trying everything we can to bring her back. Even Sue Ann said, Hannah, there's videos explaining it all. I hope you like the way I handled it, Sue Ann. No tears this week. Last week was terrible. I'm not going to get into it no more. I can't tell that story.
I feel guilty. I'm sitting over here laughing at somebody's comment later on while you're telling the story. I went, wait a minute, man. I was sitting over here laughing.
Yeah. Raheem says, when I'm depressed, I eat lots. Yes, yeah. That's one thing. And then, you know, when you're, you know, trapped in the house and you have to stay up all the time to take care of somebody, it's like it's a jail. It's a great jail, but it's still like jail. So the best thing you have in jail is you look forward to food, even though it's not that good food, but that's your highlight of the day. From staying up all night, I'm constantly, snacking on something or doing this, and I have to stop that. And I'm sitting there. Usually, when you go to sleep at night, you don't feel your belly rumbling so bad, and it hurts that you're hungry. And I have to stay up during all that. So I'm sitting there fighting myself not to eat. I want to get skinny. Don't eat, don't eat, don't eat. And it's hard. It's hard to do that, especially in these situations where I'm stressed and there's stress eating. Alone, and there's that stress. Just it's overwhelmed, and food is the only thing that has never let me down in life. It's there when I want it. It tastes so good, But I reached, I think it was 340, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm going to be this big. So I'm now I'm at like 325 now, but in the next week is when I'm going to drop like 10 pounds because I'm still haven't flushed everything out of me. You know what I'm saying? It's going to the water, drinking the water all day. This is going to flush everything out of you. So you're going to lose that type of weight right off the rip real quick. Lorenz says, here's a way you can, Lorenz, this way here, I will never eat. He says, another type of diet for you, Big Rich. Make a plate of food for yourself. Set the plate with food in front of Jerry. Wait for an hour, and if there's something left, you can eat it. I won't eat after nobody. I won't eat after Tracy. I won't, I just don't do that. And I would starve to death making him food. He'd love it.
There wouldn't be anything left anyway.
There you go. So, anyways, the new nurse is working out great. Everything's going good. We just got the one nurse that, but life goes on. We're going to get it better. It'll get better in time now. Yeah, Gracie says it's a comfort thing. Rich food comforts. It definitely does. And I got to where I'm not going to eat that much. I'll just eat one big meal, and then I'd eat all the time once a day, like Thanksgiving, and I had that feeling of satisfaction that so full. Then you go and you get back to work, or you go to sleep, or whatever it is you do, and that's just so bad for you. Tyler says, you inspired me to stop eating snacks all the time and chocolate and junk food. So thank you for that. I feel so much better. I'm even down ton?
Down to 1 coffee a day.
Oh, gotcha.
Where'd you
Keep in it, big guy. You're inspired me. Well, thank you. I mean, if my actions can help somebody else, it's all great. Problem was, you guys have heard me start diets before, and I did this, and I'd go 3 or 4 days, and I'd lose 5 pounds, 8 pounds, and I'm like, okay, well, we're good. I can lay off a little bit, and I'd go back to eating. I can't do that. I got to get down to about I would love to get my first goal is 300, and from there my second goal is 275. I like being between 250 and 275. And here's the thing. The less you weigh, the more energy you got. The more energy you got, the more you burn fat. So it's all.
We skipped that stupid chat.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we did. We had a jump.
Let me see. I'm going back. And it says, I would love to come see the Ohio Fish Rescue. You're all welcome. Come on, every one of you.
If you can get our attention. Just don't come during the live stream. I thought notice.
Oh, there you go. We did. Sue Ann put in a. Oh, sorry, your job.
All right, yeah, well, that's why I noticed. Sue Ann, thank you very much for the $10. She says Team Tracy, of course.
Oh, I love that. Thank you.
This
sweetheart.
button jumps around so much, and then when you go back looking for your place, and
Yeah,
stop
no.
and answer a question on the way, and we just start there again. So, what's Jerry's favorite snack other than ice cream? Chocolates. I like them little Hershey's chocolates. Or blackberry cobbler. That's not a snack. Of course, neither is cheesecake.
Tyler says the bottom line is Jerry's one of your best friends, Rich. Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't be doing the live streams. They don't know that I forced you to do this, do they? You want to eat breakfast tomorrow? You're going to be on the live stream. I'm kidding.
I'd show you the harness here, but I can't lift the chains that high.
That's funny.
Did you catch that double?
What?
Tyler said to him, geez, one of your best friends wouldn't do it with you. And then kind of right afterwards, he says, same to you, Jerry. He's picking my head. He knows exactly what I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
Go to the Facebook and see my babies. Sorry.
What's Jerry's favorite snack other than ice cream? Any type of food.
No, it would have to be a good blackberry cobbler.
I will say that you do that. You go overboard with blackberry cobbler.
I love a good blackberry cobbler. Other than that, man, just simple Hershey's Kisses. Little chocolates.
Tyler says it's your brain tricking you. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so sometimes I just feel hungry, but I have to make myself not because it's just empty calories. Just remind yourself that I'm here with you. Here's what I do in that situation. You know, if I'm so hungry, I'm so starving or something like that, I'll just take and drink a big cup of water first until I'll keep swallowing until I feel it hit my stomach, and then you get that instant relief where it feels like something's in your stomach. And another way I've learned to trick myself, let's say I'll take one pepperoni. After I drink that glass, I'll eat one piece of pepperoni, and I have that flavor in my mouth, and I feel full. Boom, you're tricked. Oh shit, nothing in there.
Oh,
Way back here.
keep going on here.
Oh. Lorenz says Rich has a double barrel shotgun under the table. If Jerry walks away, hear a big bang. Hell, 2 weeks ago, you guys all were like, Jerry, blink if he's. I'm like, this has got out of hand. Oh, Nick says he'll come and he'll bring blackberry cobbler. Awesome.
Oh, well, please.
Yeah. All right. We got down here. Dang it. And now it jumps again. All right.
One blackberry cobbler with milk. One blackberry cobbler with French cream. Oh yeah, sweet cream. The stuff right off the top of the gallon. When I was a kid, can't get that kind of milk anymore. Well, you can, but
Our mate says, I love your videos, Big Rich. What kind of motorcycle do off of Middlefield, Ohio, I like? I don't know what that means, buddy. You're asking me what kind of motorcycle I have. I got 2 Harleys in the garage. I haven't ridden them in 4.5 years since Tracy went down. Plates went bad and I haven't ridden them at all. Haven't gone nowhere. When I do get out, it's real quick. Go do something and come back, you know.
oh, I said Tracy again.
Tracy, Tracy, Tracy. You all right?
Oh,
No.
but that's normal.
Ronaldo 78 says, Rich, did you ever find out what happened to the Pacu at Legacy? No, we did not. Messages, we've talked about this already, but I'll go over it again. We left messages, never got a call back. They went from talking to us to not answering our calls now. I asked Josh, and he left messages too, and no got a call back. I don't know if they're busy or, you know, got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know. Matt says, it's incredible how you love your wife. You just glow when you talk about her. She's my little girl. Take care of her.
Yeah, bud. Excuse me.
Ross Dingle says, Jerry is in the best retirement home.
Yep.
Hayden says he would retire at OFR. Lori says, Rich, you want my fat ass to move in? No, Lori. You're cooking and you're cooking all the time. We both get bigger. Jennifer Bean says, hey, Big Rich, how's my main squeeze Jerry doing? Happy Fishy Friday, friends.
I guess we'll have to meet someday, Jennifer.
He's here. You know where he's at. He's right here. You got the address. There's no other girls knocking down the door right now.
Lorenz Coro. Since when is Jerry retired? He's working his butt off at OFR. He has to eat all the food before Big Rich does. Because Big Rich is on a diet and he has to take care of all the fish. And I don't do anything out there I call work. And Rich and Josh do not ask me to do anything that I would call work. I enjoy what I'm doing. I respect the men. I respect what they've done. I even respect you people, believe it or not.
That's like a slap ended, you know. What do you call that? You gave him a compliment with a back-ended slap.
Well, you don't have to like it. I mean, it's not a requirement, it's a choice. Oh, thank you, Bob Taylor. Unless we jumped again on it.
Says Pacu conspiracy. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Every bit helps.
There's definitely a Pacu conspiracy here out there.
Ronaldo 78 says, can we ever get Skylar back for a guest appearance? Possibly. She's working 2 jobs right now, so she was just up in Chicago with her dad, going visiting her grandmother that's not doing well, and she's working at the computer place plus at the satellite place. So, and she's, if you guys remember, she's the type of person that needs 2 nights of sleep to do 1 day of work, you know. But she don't do well without her sleep, you know. So working 2 jobs, she's busting her butt. She's, you know, she let her do it for as long as she can, you know. She'll come visit when she can. Joanne Nelson says, fantastic Tracy update. Tracy. That means I have to go get another cup. Ouch. Oh, man, my hips hurt when I sit for too long.
Yeah.
That's why I don't sit during the day. I keep going. All right, Jerry, talk for a little bit. I'll be right back.
Jerry needs his sleep. Thank you, Sean.
Jerry don't need nothing but food. he'll have a full plate of food on his plate, and if you go and cook
You're off
something
the
else,
screen. Get out of here. Go get your drink.
don't tell me what to do, old man.
That sounds better.
He'll
than
have a
out
whole
the way,
plate
old
of
man.
food, and if I cook something else, he'll put that plate away to taste something, different. He don't eat because he's hungry. He eats just for flavor.
There's something wrong with that. It's better if it tastes good. A little bit of everything. Oh, you. Tyler Cass says, how's Jerry doing? Don't let Big Rich pick on you. Food isn't bad for you. As long as you can work it off. It ain't a matter of working it off. It just don't settle down anywhere. Somebody asked if I was married. Nick, Ivy, whoever that is. Sorry, I'm not being rude. No, I'm not married. And haven't been for. I was married for.
Was this a dating show since I've been
23
going?
years. Yeah, I shouldn't into it, man. I'm somebody's main squeeze. I don't know. Either that or I'm attracting a lot of catfishes. It is a fish show.
So, anyways, we were talking about Skylar. I talked to Brock yesterday and Skylar both. Brock is up in Chicago. He's doing an internship with Greg Woodstock building ponds. And he's supposed to come back next month sometime. And Skylar texted me yesterday saying that she wants to come over sometime this weekend. She don't know if she can get away, though, but she's going to try. So.
No, Matt, birthday guy ain't here yet. Unless he's out there shooting video. Which is possible.
It says, what happened to Reaper? He run out of gas.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me. I look up and he's standing right there with the camera.
That's how he gets you.
Reaper's out of gas.
Ronaldo says that Skylar brother's still working at OFR. No, he was never working here. He was always coming by and helping. He likes to be involved with this. He believes in our whole thing that we got going on here. So he's actually working with Greg Woodstock now. Lori says, I can't even get her to call me. And Skylar's like Lori's daughter. She is just, how she needs her sleep, Lori. And with working 2 jobs, she is just nonstop, busy going. So don't take it to heart. She hasn't been here in a while. Look at your little Jennifer is sticking up for you. So let Jerry talk. Everybody's saying Reaper ran out of gas. That's why he's not here.
Jerry's pretty thin, fellas. Yeah, well. Maybe I need warming.
Did you just say you need warming?
No, Rick.
Oh, okay. Jerry looks pretty thin for all his alleged food. It ain't alleged. That motherfucker eats nonstop. You get up in the morning, you make yourself a big old thing of oatmeal, and you have toast with it, and then you have your coffee, and then you're back in at lunchtime, and you're making a 3-course whole meal. You're back in at dinner time, and you're like trying to, I don't know what you order stuff from DoorDash.
Unfortunately, that's expensive.
She's nonstop. I would love to have whatever he has because I could eat and I enjoy myself and never gain no weight. That guy upsets me.
It ain't worms. Let's put it that way. I should actually weigh about 180 to 190. But I lost all my muscle mass after the cancer surgery.
Matt Urban says, let me know when Alora's coming back. Mia wants to hang out again. Alora met Mia, and you know, it was like, you know, kids don't know each other. And I try and, you know, introduce it, and Alora just walked right away, and she goes up to Mia, and she puts her hand out. She's like, come here, come here. And so Mia put her hand out, and Laura took her fingers and started walking around showing her the fish.
She was doing a tour.
It was the cutest thing. Next thing you know, they're out back in the wet grass. Oh no, they're going to get their shoes all wet. Usually on Sundays she comes over.
She's just fascinated by that bearded dragon out
there. It was very, very cute the way those two took to each other. Pistol Pete says, Rich going bald. Are you serious? Look at my hairline. It's I don't even have a forehead. My hair is there. I'm not going bald. All this hair is here. It's there. I am not going bald. Ugh. Suhan says, those kids are going places. Way to go, Skylar and Brock. Well, Skylar, you know, when she was living here, she started going a little hog wild on a credit card. So she ran up her credit card to, I think, 2,800, and then, you know, no one was helping her get it out, you know, to repay it or nothing like that. So she got stuck, and she's like, oh no, what did I do to myself? So she started working to pay that off. She finally got her credit card paid off, and then she's decided, there's things I want to buy. So I was laughing when she was telling me this. You know, she's got things she wants to buy, and she's buying, you know, more like, you know, her personal products and stuff like that. And she's got, you know, clothes shopping she loves to go do. So she wants to, you know, what she said to me was build up at least, you know, $5,000 in the bank and have her credit card paid off before she'll try and reach that goal before she stops, you know, because she's tired all the time now. Jerry, Suhan says, Jerry would need his own channel to answer that. Jerry will never have his own channel. Jerry don't want to learn how to handle it.
Oh, hell no.
He hands me the phone. I don't know how you deal with this damn thing.
I hate answering that question because I've done so much. Best answer is I've done exactly what I wanted to do when I wanted to. That included raising a family and trying to be a member of your so-called society. I don't fit in well.
Hayden says, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Lorenz Corton says, how is your Guinness Book record doing, Big Rich? Still there. It was in 2021. I got the world record for longest competitive mullet for a man. And I still hold the record.
You ain't going to win the woman one.
No.
I girl's drags on the ground.
She was standing up on a cinder block.
Yeah.
And it still went down and went over on the ground like 2 foot. Yeah, that was crazy. Reminded me of my grandmother. The bearded dragon, Josh found a home for, and you know, as soon as he did that, the guy hadn't picked it up yet, but you know, he paid Josh, and you know, the Reaper calls and said, "Hey, what are you doing with that dragon? Bearded dragon. I'd really like to have it." I'm like, "Oh, dude, how can you say something the day we picked it up?" You know, Josh had already got, you know.
He did, but not to you.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Well, it turns out he didn't want it for himself. He wanted it for one of his neighbors or friends or something like that.
Oh, that's.
So it's not that big a deal.
I mean, yeah, I can appreciate you wanting to do something for somebody, but you know, if he wanted it for himself.
Oh yeah. Tracy.
Right there with you.
Jennifer said, "Is that a real thing, Rich? What are you referring to?
Dragons behind Jerry's beard. Thank you.
Are you talking about the Guinness Book of World Record? Yeah, I
Yeah,
hold that.
that is real.
Actually, it's right here in the hallway.
Hey,
Let me go get it.
the day they did all the photographing of him was great entertainment.
It was horrible.
It was great. They had him stretched out all over the place, measuring and taking pictures. And most of it was completely useless, or unused at least.
I don't know if you can see this right there. Get a little closer.
I can't see it.
There.
It
says, The longest hairstyle measured for established mullet competition in the men's division was 3 foot 3 inches, 39 inches, as supported by Big Rich Price of Strongsville, Ohio, in the men's 2021 U.S. Mullet Championship. I won the United States Mullet Championship, which now turns out to be the world. And then got into the Guinness Book.
All right, Tyler, puff pass, and Nick, and whoever else is out there. I get cooler than the polar bear's toenails. Hey, you people are laying on me tonight. Nick Hype says I'm cooler than a polar bear's toenails.
And I'll show you guys this. See, now that we can see the picture that we're on there, we can see what we're showing the camera, which before I couldn't. So let me go to this.
Well, I can use this down here to see what they're seeing.
Right. And I'll show you my hair of that time. I've got a picture here, right here. Now this is
the driveway.
This is Greg Woodstock, and then me and Haley. That was my hair then. And since then, it got sucked up into a lawnmower, or I'm sorry, a backpack air blower. So I lost about 8 inches off of that. It's growing back now, though.
It's a good foot shorter than that right now.
Oh.
Yeah, before it burns, somebody says, "Hey, you remember you getting your hair burnt that day too?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Lost another couple inches on that. Burnt my whole arm up, and my side of my face was peeling. Yeah, that was a bad fire. Swan Heasy says when you Google longest mullet, Big Rich is right there.
Is it? I never looked. They came out with that video of the new Guinness World Records, and you weren't in it.
Yeah, some guy with shorter hair than me. But that wasn't a Guinness Book of World Records. That was a mullet championship. That guy won. You know, like 2023 mullet championship. He won his mullet championship that year. But you know, he wouldn't have won if I was there.
That's a different one than I was talking about, though. I was talking about they just had it was one of those YouTube fill-ins, you know, with all the new Guinness World Records for the year.
Gotcha.
It might have been a different year. That's what I assumed.
OG Foster said, I thought it got burned. It did. I lost a lot of it first, get sucked. I had that backpack air blower go in, and I was going, and all of a sudden the motor went and shut off. And my hair was stuck to it. I couldn't get it off my back. So we had to, you know, rip it out of the carburetor basically. And I lost a few inches there, but then in that fire, I lost a few more. So it's growing back now. It's getting longer. I check it, you know, at least weekly. James McNally, are you raising sturgeons for the beluga caviar through natural spawning? No.
Beluga caviar only comes from belugas, and you ain't
Beluga
made no
sturgeon.
belugas around here.
Finished Lap Hun said, just want to say hello from Sweden. Well, hello. Thanks for joining us. That's awesome.
Catfish caviar is better than sturgeon caviar anyway.
Lauren says, who is Haley? Haley is a girl that runs a YouTube channel, and she's the one that she got 2 pallets full of koi food donated to her, and she gave it to us. And we're still running off of that almost a year and a half, 2 years later. Eddie says, what is a good tank mate for a tiger shovelnose? Red tail, pacu, arowana, pound knife.
Cichlids.
As long as you get them the same size. You can't have a big tiger shovelnose and a small fish, because if he can fit in his mouth, he'll eat it.
Yeah.
Jennifer Bean says, you should be in the book, Rich. I am in the book. In the Guinness book. I got a picture of the Guinness book opened up with me in it, but you don't have to keep on entering. I hold the record still. Raheem says, Big Rich, are you still using Pantene shampoo? No, I'm using Suave. It's 99 cents for a bottle of it. I think I got coconut and strawberry. I use Pantene conditioner. That's the only thing I spend a little more on, because soap is soap is soap is soap. You know, I don't need, facial soap and hair soap and feet soap and butt soap. I just use soap. You know what I'm saying? So Suave is 99 cents for a big thing of it. And it smells good. And then I finish off my shower ritual with, I use the Pantene, and I let it soak into my hair while I do the rest of my body and all that kind of stuff. And then the last thing I do is rinse the shampoo or conditioner out of my hair. And it always smells like Pantene. Jerry walks by, it smells like cigar. Other people, whatever, but I walk by, it's like, ooh, it smells like Pantene. I love that smell. Tyler says, all right, everyone, I'm going to go spend some time with the wifey. Thank you. Love you guys. Stay fishy, everyone. Thank you for all such an amazing Fishy Friday. Oh, well, thanks for hanging out with us. Go tell the wife you're giving up, Fishy Friday to hang with her. Make her feel special. Lauren says, you mentioned the food in today's video.
Yeah, that was good in that video.
Finish Love Hunt said, love seeing Big Rich go, is that a goldfish? No, it's a cichlid. See, they don't understand how blind I am. You know what I'm saying? I only got one eye, and it's blurry as can be. And if I don't have these on, I can't read that screen at all. And I've got what's that, 80 or 76 inch
At
TV?
least. Yeah.
And I can't read it right now at all. I have to wear these glasses to be able to read it somewhat. They're still blurry like this, but I can at least read it now.
The funny thing is how long that little cichlid's been in there, and just be grateful that there isn't more than one in there. They start breeding.
I said butt soap earlier. Lorenz caught it. He goes, butt soap is good for butt hair.
You're not going to get away with anything with these people.
I can't get away with nothing. I misspeak, they catch it. Pistol Pete says, Google says Tammy from Tennessee has the biggest mullet in the world. Yes, for female. Look up male. Tammy is the girl we were talking about that was standing on that brick and her hair still touched the ground. Sue Ann sounds like she's singing the theme song to Green Acres. Remember that?
Yeah, I just caught that. She's going to have to sing that for us when she comes with.
Hello, Alex. He says, Fishy Acres is a place for me. Nobody under 40 is going to understand that reference.
Yeah, maybe.
That was Zsa Zsa Gabor and
Yeah,
something Adam something.
yeah.
What was his name?
I don't know what his name was. Jaja's hard to miss.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's see where he is. We'll see if he's even going to make it here.
was it even? Yeah, I guess it was. That's right.
Oh, it was even more.
Eddie Albert's the other one.
Eddie Albert, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. Where you at?
We got other
Oh, he's
guys.
in the driveway. He ran out of gas. He coasted in. All right, see you in a minute. Bye. Yeah, Eddie Albert, he couldn't keep it together in that show. He was just like, there was too much going on. I used to like it. And then they had the spin-off, Petticoat Junction.
Petticoat Junction.
Yes.
Actually, I think Green Acres was a spin-off of Petticoat Junction.
You think? No. No, it's the other way around. I don't know.
Somebody on here will tell us. Always not much.
Oh, there's nothing they like better than correcting me if I'm wrong. I'll give you guys that.
Star Sapphire African cichlid. Not
I
familiar-
do have. Wait,
You're talking about the Madagascar?
no, the Starry Night.
That's
This is
the
Star Sapphire.
Madagascar. Yeah,
Oh, okay. We're all talking about the same fish.
yeah, but
I have two of those.
It's not. It's not called the Star Sapphire. There
It
is.
was when I got it.
Was it called? Did somebody call it a Star Sapphire?
Mike from Imperial Tropicals
I've heard.
gave me two of them as babies and said these are star. Gave them to Tracy. Said these are Star Sapphire cichlids, and they'll grow up and they won't look like this no more. They'll have little silver, shiny mirrors all down their
I
side.
always heard them called Starry Nights.
Starry Nights. That's what we know them as now. Yeah.
But the store will call them whatever it takes to sell them, people.
Okay, Sebastian says the
Sometimes.
Guinness World Record for longest competitive mullet male is 3 foot 3 inches, 39 inches, held by Big Rich Price in Strongsville, Ohio, USA, and was measured at the 2021 U.S. Mullet Championship. Happy birthday! Grab that red chair and you can try and squeeze in between us. I'll move over. Everybody, and I mean everybody, because somebody said, "Where's Reaper?" I thought he was coming. Everybody said he ran out of gas.
No, my car doesn't go very fast anymore. Kurt was sleeping, so I couldn't have him ring me, so I just brought the car out. What's up, homie?
Woman, he
He
says in
died
the
of
UK
being
they're called
called
Star
your
Sapphire.
We're only 5 years difference.
Jeez. I told him I'm not old enough to be Rich's dad, but not yours.
Pistol Pete says, Google says Big Rich Price has the longest mullet for men, that SOB.
The longest what?
Mullet for men.
Oh,
Yeah, two rules Jerry has. One, I am always right.
Yeah.
Two, read rule one. Uh-oh, Big Reaper and Little Reaper. Everyone was calling Jerry your father today.
we're 5 years apart, man.
Yeah.
In fact, if we live and I make next year 70, you'd be 75. We should do a nice big party, 70 or 75.
Well, I'll be 75 before you hit 70.
James McNally said,
6 months difference.
what exotic animal would you not take in, Big Rich, as a rescue? See, before I did this rescue thing, I used to do nothing but exotic animals. I'd go to the Mount Hope exotic animal auction, and I would buy $10,000 worth of animals every year. And my kids would bottle feed them. Tracy had her baby skunks. We had, Black Panthers, little bears. We had wolves. We had all kinds of crazy things, all kinds of birds and stuff. And when it became illegal, because that one guy let all those wild animals loose in Coshocton, I think it was, or wherever it was in Ohio, they made a law where you can't have any of that kind of stuff no more. I stopped doing it. But my kids got to grow up, having a baby deer and bottle feeding it, having baby, raccoons and baby skunks, and the baby skunks are the cutest damn things, and groundhogs, all kinds of stuff. Monkeys. I had a bunch of monkeys, a bunch of different kinds. Yeah, even Matt says Starry Night, aka Star Sapphire, aka females.
Yeah.
It's what the pet stores want to call them, and that's how they get their new names. Like you got the Niger cat is also known as Ripsaw cat. Is also known as Oxydorus Niger. It's just crazy how these people.
If you try to say the real name, it sounds like a mouthful of marbles.
Tracy, it was in Zanesville, Rich. Yeah, you're right. Reaper, you need another little dude.
Well, I don't know. I think I see what I'm taking home out there still.
Yeah, I talked to Josh today about that. He's still on his way to come get it. He's never picked it up yet. Josh said that he's got someone else that wants him, so, which is you. Morn Vanderberg says, good morning from Cape Town, South Africa. Nice. It's 1:30 in the morning there. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Will Maddie says, what's your dream fish? Mine is a goonch. Okay, in this situation, it's not so much the dream fish as much as a dream tank to have, like, a saltwater Goliath grouper. I want a tank big enough for that.
Good luck. You have a nurse shark along with it.
Right. No. I want a baby bull shark and a tank big enough to raise it in.
And enough hands to feed it.
No. I have tenants. I can
So
feed
you
them.
feed it hands.
Swan Heasy says, how old are you, Reed?
69.
Somebody on here with a handle of 69.
Yeah.
That's hard to handle a pool.
Harley Jem says it's a ZZ Bottoms, not ZZ Tops.
Yeah, right.
Lorenzo also says it's 1:30 in the Netherlands, too. UK, it's 12:30. Well, damn, you guys are up late.
UK 12:30.
There we go. Let's say a box of marbles, man. Lots of chromas, phenos, cichlids.
Yep. Be right back. I gotta get Tracy. All these wires. I'm coming.
This is where you take it. You take over. I'm just a guest.
No, you go guest, have fun. Man, it's
Let's see.
I kind of come at a loss when I come into here anyway. I gotta look down here. Oh, Nick wants you to hit my vape.
What's that? It's your today.
I do kind of draw the line. This is not a pot channel. It's a, so I mean, respect. I choose to smoke instead of drink, and that's it. But it's not the point of conversation here.
What's that?
My vape.
Oh.
It's bedtime here in Ohio? No, it's not. It's not even 8 o'clock.
Well, no. I'm here. to put you geezers to bed now.
Yeah.
It's time to go to bed.
I go to bed at 3, 4 in the morning.
We've got the over the hill rescue crew.
Yeah, I'm missing my beard somewheres.
The old man group, Lori. Thank you.
They said they stayed up late to watch the Three Stooges. That's horrible. Thought you were our friend. You guys remind me of the guys from Duck Dynasty.
You need a beard.
You two both could go for the Uncle Si look-alike contest. You know what I'm saying? You both come at it, that look, in a different way. Addie says, have you seen the giant clown knife at Predatory Fins? They have a hard time beating our big albino or
The big
Xanthic.
Yeah.
yeah. And I'd like to see. We've had a size off before with them, and we won that one.
Yeah.
They do look like brothers, don't they? But yeah, I'd like to see what their clown knife is. Clown knives are sturdy enough. I can reach in the tank and catch them with a net and put them up against the window, and then you can measure from the outside
Yeah.
and not bother them at all.
Right.
So that's what we need to do. All right. Against the flow says, I bought a used tank with 2-inch holes drilled for the overflow. I can't figure out what size bulkheads I need. Any ideas? You measure the holes, and if they're 2 inches, your bulkhead is probably going to be like if it's only 2 inches, you're going to need like a 1/2-inch bulkhead, maybe even a 1/4-inch bulkhead, because the outside of them threads have to fit in that hole. So go where they're selling bulkheads and measure the outside of them. You want the biggest you can have still fitting in that 2-inch hole. Or you can look online and they show you the outside dimensions of the threads. Finished left hunt, said it's late here in Sweden too. Ready for bed. I'm watching the end of a Swedish film and having you on my mobile. Well, that's multitasking.
Yeah.
Matt says, happy birthday, Reed. I remember you shaved your beard right before the spring sale last year. And it's already back. What's your secret?
That's what my brother said too. Because I do. I cut it all the time and I grow it and I cut it and I grow it. Or I just cut it and let it grow. I don't like shaving. That's basically it. I hate shaving, man.
That's it. That's the reason this is here.
Most of the time when I
So
start to
all this
shave.
whole secret is nothing more than laziness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Sometimes I watch no video here real. I had a pretty good one going, but I didn't have no. What it is I start to do that, and then I get to, oh, God damn it. And now I shave the whole thing off.
Trim this a little too low, so we
Yeah.
gotta make this one match.
Yeah, and
Oh,
it don't
that
work.
is too low.
So then I just scrap it all and start from scratch, let it grow, and then I take it from there.
Oh my God. Sebastian says, so we have
Big man
Gandalf the
idea.
gray and Saruman the
Life.
white with Bigfoot to the side. Gracie says, let it grow like Steve Bashy. You know who that is?
Steve Bashy, it sounds familiar.
Did you see the video where we took all the fish up to Legacy?
Oh yeah, of course.
He's the guy that handles the tanks and the
Oh,
building.
he's
of
got
the-
that super long beard?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, his beard's longer than your mullet.
Yeah.
I always wondered when I see him in a video, 'cause they just got the new sharks up there, so I did see that. And I wondered if he's ever gotten any sort of award for like longest beard. It's got to be close to being one of the longest beards around.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, man, he says, I did that with my hair. I ended up bald. Scared the wife in the morning. right. Any questions you got while we got Reaper here? It's what time is it? 7:40. We got 20 minutes left. Set up the questions. We'll read them all.
Another one from
Sizzle Iguana.
Cape Town, South Africa again. That's two
Yeah.
people.
Hello from Cape Town, South Africa. Long-time fan of the channel. Well, thank you.
That's
Thank
two
you for sticking
people
up with
from
us.
Cape Town.
Is that the two people? Or is that the same?
No, that's a different person.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a different person.
That's what I thought.
Green Queen says kind of icky to me, that braided long beard. Well, you got to think about that. Okay, how much has been dropped on it, and how do you wash that? And then there's it's just it's a health, not a health hazard, but a cleanliness type
Remember
thing.
Matt? Remember Matt?
Which man?
Junior Matt.
Yeah.
Motorcycle Matt.
Yeah.
His beard used to be like that. He used to.
Yeah.
He didn't exactly
Well, you
braid
had
it,
to.
but he used like you used
The
to.
hair ties. I
the
remember
hair
that.
ties. But he still had to do it once a week or whatever, every 3-4 days. And it's a pain in the butt, but he can wash it. And everything.
Yeah, I remember one of the guys my dad used to ride with had a Fu Manchu that was braided. And when he was on the bike, man, those flapping around out behind him.
Man, I
always thought that was neat.
got more hair on my chin than I do on my head. Shit, man.
I still got some good head hair.
I heard if you take, like, you can buy these now, but you can at the butcher shop. You get the balls of a bull. You rub it on your head.
You're gonna make yourself a purse?
Joanna Nellis says, "Have you changed your settings? No ads tonight." I have not.
And I hadn't even noticed.
Yeah.
That's rare.
Usually I turn it on, the first thing I get's an ad.
Yeah, I
Two or
did.
three.
I did.
I
right
get
at
2 or 3
first.
usually during
Yeah,
the whole
but
thing.
I haven't had one for a while.
Huh.
Of course, I've been talking. I've been watching up there too, more than I have down here.
Nick says Reaper was the craziest birthday ever. He went out today. Some other friends took him out for all you can eat
My
crab
brother.
legs.
My brother.
Oh, your brother?
Yeah, I was not doing much. I was actually going to call you. I was thinking about your offer. And then for the half of ribs and shit.
Mm.
Then Johnny called, and believe it or not, I'm on my phone, and I was looking for the all-you-can-eat crab legs near me. And a new restaurant just opened in Canton, and it was like $55, but it was all the crab legs, all the breaded shrimp, all the cocktail shrimp, all the baby back ribs, and there was something else. There was 5 of those. Plus, you could get all the lobster bisque you wanted, all the garlic breadsticks you wanted,
All the side
bread
dishes,
battered or
right.
beer battered onion rings, and a couple other things. There was 4 or 5 desserts, and all of these things you can get any and all you can eat. $55.
That's what your brother bought you.
Yeah. Well, he called me up and he's like, "You want to go out to eat?" I laughed and he goes, "What?" And I go, "Well, I got something in mind, but it's expensive, and I was going to maybe take it." He goes, "What?" I said, "I'm looking at all you can eat crab legs." And that was the first time when him and I got back together 1.5 years, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's the first thing we did.
Is it?
Excuse me. And I'm like, that's what I want. I really got a taste for them. So it was brand new. It's only been there about 6 weeks.
I got a damn
Freaking awesome. The
Good.
food was delicious. And I mean, they do, for $20 more, you can get sirloin, roast beef, filet mignon, porterhouse. You can get meats as well. They got the steaks and all that, So you can do surf and turf, just the meat, whatever, salads, this and that, So it was awesome. It was good. It was really good.
Crystal Pete says, Reaper, how drunk are you?
Nah, just open this beer. That's it.
First beer of the night. You just came from
Yeah.
a restaurant, So you're so full.
Mhm. Oh yeah, definitely full. But no, I pretty
Yeah.
much quit drinking. I drink now and then only. I don't drink like I used to anymore.
So out of the Wellness says, happy birthday, Vince. Have a good weekend, y'all. All he's supposed to know is real name. It's Reaper. Steve Machin is asking you, if I have 14 gallons in a tank and 2 gallons in a can in the trunk, how far can I go at 75 miles an hour? It's like till you run out.
Yep.
James McNally says, as an exotic animal owner, can you tell me why people don't keep pet sea lions? Well, they've got monstrous teeth.
Oh
and,
yeah, they do, and I don't know if they're legal to keep at all.
yeah, they got to be something like in danger or something.
Right?
Because I've never seen them for sale at the exotic animal
No,
auction.
me
You know?
neither. Them or dolphins.
Well, it's cost prohibitive,
Mhm.
is what it is. In order to set up a proper environment, you have to be on the coast they're indigenous to.
Gotcha.
You basically tame a wild one and make a friend out of it. That's the only way I've ever heard of anybody having an association
Right.
with one.
Right, being living on the coast and
Oh my God. Lauren Vanderberg says, I use chicken dung on the outside of my lips and cow dung on the inside of my lips for my beard. Chicken dung likes to pull, cow dung likes to pull. Okay. Wow.
Or part
Raheem
B,
says, Tracy.
now that
take that
we're
to
going
drinking
with-
part.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We're gonna get Tracy out in this last 15
Yeah, we
minutes. I can see that.
Everyone's doing an analysis that gives up another 5, 6 Tracy's.
So I'm looking ahead down here too. Everybody's getting on the Tracy wagon.
Everyone's getting on the cow dung and chicken dung on your inside and outside of your
I
lips.
know, I see that.
That'll be a drinking word next week.
Chicken dung.
Yeah. It just rolls off the tongue.
You can ask him how it rolls off his tongue. Go and try it.
I've had my fill of smart pills.
Well, man, he says, how's Josh enjoying being a dad? He really likes it. He's proud of his position. You know, he's a good dad, and he's got a great granddaughter of mine. You know, so I mean, not a great granddaughter, a great. My granddaughter's great. Is all I'm saying.
There you go.
Ronaldo 78 says, Rich, I have been watching for 5 years, and I never heard where the name Reaper came from. Wow, I've said it many times.
Really?
I met him, almost 40
Alice
years ago.
Cooper's name is Vincent? I didn't know that.
Do you know who Alice Cooper's son is? You ever seen that movie? It's Steve Carell. You don't know him?
Don't catch it.
Hang on a second. I'll show you, because I couldn't believe it when I found out. Now that I know that, I look at them both and I'm like, oh yeah, they're okay. That's Steve Carell, the actor. Okay, but if you see him sideways, he's got a huge nose too, just like Alice Cooper. Okay, that's Alice Cooper's son.
Yeah.
So what is he, an actor?
He worked for The Office. Yeah, he did The Office. The movies were 40-Year-Old Virgin. That was one I was trying to remember. Crazy Stupid Love.
Was she
Evan Almighty. He was the you know.
Was she a comedian? Or?
He's an actor,
Mm.
but that's Alice Cooper's son.
My name Reaper comes from an old Trade Wars game before Yahoo, before it was
Okay,
wasn't
we
even
were
a
into
true-
computers before there
Right.
was a
I think
GUI,
it was-
GUI, whatever you want to say it, but it's a graphic user interface. There was no
Right.
Windows. Windows 3.1.1 came out, and we were like, wow.
Wow,
We were
yeah.
doing, writing code on a
BBSs.
black screen.
Right.
And doing that kind of stuff. I was working at Alexis Internet, building people's hot rodding their computers out and that kind of stuff. And there was an online BBS, a bulletin board system, BBS, and you basically dial up and you got on there and you had an account, and then they had games. Well, I wasn't even playing. This guy got a hold of me. His name was Hillbilly, and he got a hold of me and said he'd give me $50 if I log on here and take these people out. They had a whole core of what, 5 people?
Mhm.
And the Trade Wars game was Swan Heasy says best game ever. It was awesome. It was a game where you had sectors, and each sector there's could be this, that, whatever, but you wanted to find a sector that had like a volcanic planet up front, and then the only way out of that sector is the way you came in or behind it. And then you can have a bunch of earth planets in there and you can make planets and all this stuff. And
Another.
and it was a good game, and I got paid $50. I'm going to take that. So I went in there and I started playing, and I had a program called Trade Wars Helper that would just go around and trade at all these different posts and make me money and fighters. And I found me a 7-sector deep area. The only way in is up front. And I loaded up all the planets. I had 5 planets in each sector of nothing but, Earth planets, which made fighters. And that's the whole thing. You needed fighters, And, so I'm doing this quietly for like maybe a week. And then I've come up with the plan. I devised the plan. They were all, you can be good or evil. And if like good attacks evil, it turns them evil, So I went in at them, and I had like 3 accounts at the time. I took just like garbage, my account going on. I'm done doing what I'm going to do with it before I log off for the day, because once you got killed, you couldn't come back on for 24 hours. I would run my people into them, and then they would attack us, and it would kill me. No big deal. They don't know that I'm all this strong and I'm doing all this, and they would kill me, but it turned them evil, and they couldn't get back into their planets or their ships, So this is what started. And when I did this, I turned a few of them evil, and then I went in with my interstellar galactic ship, whatever it was. It held 100,000 fighters, and they didn't really realize how to set up the what was it, a Vulcan cannon, or cannon? Yeah, but you could shoot off of the planet and the first sector and destroy anything. So they'd set it high. Well, I ran in there with throwaway guys, I've got a couple of counts, and I just run in there and boom, they blast out everything they had. And then I come in with the interstellar galactic ship with 100,000 fighters, and it hits me for like 20,000. I was able to land and take ownership of that. And then I set it, the right way, and set it down and put a bunch of fighters on the planet and build it back up. Now I've got full cannons. I can't really go back to their sectors yet, but I can keep them from ever coming into their sector. So this is what started it. So then I'm going farther and deeper into their sectors and taking ownership of all their planets. And I did this all in one night. And, I was almost done. I own everything. I own all their stuff. They're turned evil. They're out of the sector, because when you die, you have to start off at Terra and go back to your sector. Well, so what I did was I went to Terra, and it's surrounded by like 6 sectors. So when you log on, you go through any sector to get towards yours, I made a planet and blew it up. 10% space debris. I made another planet, blew it up 20%. I made 100% space debris all the way around Terra. So now they're off for 24 hours, and they're all freaking out. Someone's taking our stuff. And it was just here. It was just little old me. Well, they come back on the next day, and they go to head home. One sector they move, boom, they blow up. 100% space debris.
Except for one person.
I didn't catch him. He wasn't in that sector. He was out and about somewhere.
I never stayed with my corps. Yeah. I was a Reaper because of my name.
The Grim Reaper.
I went out and killed for my corps. I had my own little hiding spot. This took me a week to find him, and I found him at like 2:30 in the morning, and he wasn't on. And I'm like, I found him.
Oh, you're jumping ahead. You're talking about me.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all of his people waited 24 hours to come back on, and then they all died. And now they're calling Reaper. This guy's, he's at the BBS. He's what do you call it? Cheating. He's there. He's in there, and he's like, no. And he kills me. I was out and about on the Trade Wars program. I jump into a sector, and he's like, oh, there he is, and he shoots and kills me. So he's the only one that killed me out of that. I didn't kill him out of that whole sector of people, but all the rest of his corps. They swore to God I was cheating, all this other stuff.
They swore to God. They thought you were Hillbilly.
Yeah. And then he was like, he started talking to me, and I'm like, because he's like, how did you do this? And I'm like, well, there's this, there's that, this. And
he actually talked to me first.
Was it? Okay, yeah. I don't know. It was 40 years ago.
Yeah. Because I killed him. I was the only one who got him. You're the only one who's got me. Okay.
So we started talking, and I'm thinking, he's this little college kid. And he's thinking the same thing about me.
Mm-hmm.
And, so we decided to meet. And he's like, the whole corps, like, they unfriended me. Like, what are you talking about? Weren't these your real friends in real life? And he's like, yeah. They unfriended him because he's going to go and meet with me and this and that. And, they, oh my God, it was such a drama thing. And, he walked in and I thought, what the hell? He had long hair and shit. And I'm like, you don't look like nothing I planned. I thought
He had long hair and shit, and he wasn't near like he looks now. I mean, he was thinner, way thinner. So it was like, damn, we hit it right off.
No, we got drunk together and shit. And I tell you what, I have never talked to any one of those guys from your corps since then.
Well, it was just,
I think three of them disappeared, and we talked to one later.
There was only two that I really, because I mean, the others was Wonder, she disappeared, went back to wherever, and then Ron and Selena.
Oh yeah, he was in your corps.
Selena's dead.
Is she?
Yeah, she passed away last year.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Ron was the 4th District police officer that was our friend.
Right, and Selena was his wife, and
Yeah.
he's still out in Vegas. They moved out to Vegas once he retired from being an officer out here. And then Chip and Warren, those were the two.
Yeah, I've never talked to them.
And Chip, he got a $100,000 job doing computers and stuff. So he was down he moved down in Columbus. And I don't know, I lost track of Warren. Oh my God, sorry, I forgot to turn my phone down. That's just.
The game name was
Trade Wars.
Trade Wars.
And the one dude he said great game, and you said agreed. He was talking about Quake.
Oh, we used to
we
deathmatch Quake a lot.
We had my once a month meetings in my house with the computers. You've heard me talk about it.
I was the first one in the group that had a 21-inch monitor, and it was like this big, and I was heavy as hell. CRT monitor, not no little flat screens. And I had the big. I used a what was that? That roller computer thing I had was for racks of hard drives. I made that into my computer, so I had like the tallest computer, the biggest monitor, and then we'd set up and we'd be RJ45 together. Oh no, we were doing the coaxial cable.
Right, we were doing the Terminators and all that. Yeah. That's long before RJ45 right. All that shit, man. There was no Yahoo. There was no search engines. There was nothing. There was no color.
Well, then we got into the the Windows came out, and then we were doing Doom for a while. Then we started doing Quake, and then we did Quake 2 and 3, and then Windquake.
Right.
And we were with the times. We always had an illegal copy of Windows ahead of time where no one else had it. Remember that?
Yeah.
We'd have our wares sites and shit.
Yeah, we had that one dude. When we did have those meetings we were talking about, the one dude, Scott, he was the hacker. He was always showing us shit. And, we always had people, and we always were trading. What'd you get this week? What software you got? What apps you got? There's no apps. They were all software.
There was no apps.
It was all PC. We didn't really have smartphones and shit.
There wasn't They were flip phones, I think, at the time. Or even the little Motorola Talk. Right. I had the button where I'd talk to Tracy all the time.
But this is when computers first came out.
Yeah.
We were into it big time. That shit, we had our own. Well, I don't know about you. You did, I think. I had mine, BBS.
Well,
I had a Quake server for a while.
Yeah, we did Quake servers all the time, but I ended up getting a server started for the Trade Wars game to get it going, and I own the original copy of Trade Wars and the Trade Wars Helper program. I still have them in the thing in there. We just don't do that stuff no more.
No, they got Trade War 2000, I think it's called. It was the latest version I think they came up with. But they do have it now.
See, this is back when you could write scripts on your computer.
Right.
You can't really do that now.
Right. Yeah, everything is plug and play and made for you and this and that, but like he was saying, there was Earth planets, there were volcanic planets, there were certain planets. And you could actually, there were macros. You wrote your own macros, and you'd hit F1. Now your ship, before individually, you made a command for your ship to take off. Then you made a command for it to go to this proper, sector and land on that planet. Now you made a command to pick up the product, pick it up, take it, and sell it at Terra and all that. F1. Boom, 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 boom.
It was just a macro was a list of commands that would make it ezy for us.
Yeah.
I had a macro for making planets, and planets were like random, So I'd hit the macro, boom, make a planet. Oh, that's not a volcanic. To kill it, another one, boom, make a planet, boom, you know. And you know, we used to write all these macros and scripts for all this stuff and make it easier. And it was fun. It was a great thing to get into.
It was.
I want you to know that I was God, though. He was God of his crowd. I was God of mine.
Hey, we did a tournament even. I mean, we played it so much that my group, we did a tournament. We joined a tournament. It was a $500 tournament, and we won.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, you know, we were good at it. Yeah, we were good at it. That's for sure. We knew a lot of shit.
But that
it
was his
mostly
name
on
was
the good side.
It was Reaper, and
He
my
knew
name
the
was
good
what?
shit. Frankenstein?
Frankenstein.
Frank.
Because Frag in Quake was a death, you know.
Right.
And I was Frankenstein, and
Yeah.
you know. And what did you say? You had the best what?
I said we were doing good. We had a lot of the tricks and know-how, because if they caught you cheating or doing this and that, they threw you off, and we never did. But if you found defects or
You can exploit
glitches,
the glitches.
the glitches, and that's what he was doing, and that's what we were doing. You know, but we had the good glitches. He had those bad glitches. We never knew about that when he
I was
came
just
in
smarter
and
than
did
the
it.
average
You know?
bear.
But again, yeah, he never killed me. I did get him. But I wouldn't hide in that sector, or I would have, but I knew better.
Yeah, Raheem says, what year was that? I have no idea.
Oh, God.
30-some years ago.
Yeah.
Like I said, computers were just a black screen with a command prompt, you know? And it would be like, you know, dir/p would give you a directory by page at a time. But if you do dir, it just goes through the whole directory of everything on your hard drive.
Right.
You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, we were bringing up the command prompt to do shit. We were using DOS. There was no Windows.
There was no Windows, yeah.
There was no Windows yet when we started. That's how long ago we started. And oh my God, like you guys out there, you probably got a computer. You go out, you get a hard drive, or you get a sound card, you plug it in. That's not what happened when you own a computer back in the days when they first came out. It had to have, every board itself, in fact, I still got one, we should bring it in, had little pins on them, and you had to make sure the pins coordinated with what you put into the computer, and then you brought it up and made sure, otherwise it didn't, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise it didn't work.
They didn't read each other.
Right, it didn't read, it didn't work. It was not easy back in the days.
Yeah, Swan Easy said it. LAN parties. We had a long bunch of LAN parties.
Every month. Every month we had a LAN party. Once a month for about a good year or so.
Ross Dingle says brown screen with yellow font. You had colored fonts? I was just black and white. Brownish and white, you know. Counter 64 was around then, yeah.
My the computer I was playing on was an IBM PS2. It just came out. And I was cool because I had the 3.5 and 5 1/4, or 5 1/4, 5.5 and 3 in the
floppy disks.
Yeah, I had both. Ooh. With what? 360 megabyte hard drive?
Oh, that was way too big. It was like 12 megabyte hard drives at the time.
I think I still got it. I think it was a 360 meg. I know that kick-ass 480 computer that we got, that beat the Pentium they brought over, that you built, that big white one.
Yeah.
It had 16 1 meg memories in it. Man. It was
They can't even give you nothing like that now, dude. In your computer, you got 2 slots and that's it.
That's it.
16 slots per memory. What?
Yeah. Each one was a one gig or one.
These guys left me behind 15, 20 minutes ago, man. I have trouble understanding this.
No, we are electronically savvy, that's for sure.
That's why I had a community service girl over here the other day. And, you know, I'm setting up the live stream, this, that. She's like, how do you, I'm like, what do you mean? You're young. You know how to do all this. She's like, I don't know. I'm like, come on.
By the time my kids were in high school, I couldn't even help them with their homework.
Really?
Reaper finally aged up to his favorite number. Your?
Me neither.
Oh, Reaper finally is up to his favorite number. Oh, yes, they're playing I wonder how long it'd be before somebody
All I
played
know
69.
is that they were bragging and you know, they were the toughest core there. And one little guy came in and took them all out and laughed and was showing, you know, this guy's like, you got to tell me what, you know, and I'm telling him all the little secrets that I figured out, you know. And he's like, you've been playing this game a long time? I'm like, no, he just told me about it. I just go in there and figure out how to get around things, you know. And I showed him how I was doing stuff, and he was like so interested, you know. And then we got together. Now I'm showing him, you know, my wares sites and how I'm getting this and getting that, and I collect things out of my friends. And we got together. He's collecting parts, you know, programs from his friends, and we get, oh, you got that? I've been looking for that, you know.
Yeah, we had some good programs too.
And that was back when you know, Tracy and your old lady would sit together and drink wine while we're sitting there on the computer for
Right.
hours, all night long.
Yeah, when I was playing at Trade Wars, I'd be up to 3, 4 in the morning playing that.
Yeah.
Dawn, get up, come up.
Still playing.
I was just too
No, you
out
weren't.
there.
That was after we because when I first met you, you weren't with Dawn. You went on your first date with Dawn with me and Tracy, and you know, then you know, you started playing, you know, you were continuing still playing Trade Wars or something. But when I first met you, you weren't with Dawn. So I remember your first date with her. Raheem says, hang on a second, it just jumped on me. Finished lap hunt said, really enjoy hearing you talk about older times, but need to go to bed. Good night. Take care. See ya.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and run over. I'm gonna go turn off the lights. And
Yeah, I gotta get going myself.
We have some friends who used to go to Cyber Cafe and download MP3s and music and videos and exchange between friends. Yeah. There's a lot like that with programs. Like I said, we always had the newest version of Windows out and had it somehow. The key code was we had a program that would make keys, key generator, and it would make key generators for the newest program of Windows out. You know, and I go over there, I'm like, dude, I got you know Windows you know 3.1. He goes, I got 3.11.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Thanks for hanging out.
Got a rescue we gotta do tomorrow.
Yeah, going on a rescue first thing. Well, he come over to get the
van.
truck. Yeah, so
Because my car's not running. And I gotta be there by 11:30 in the morning, and it's closer to my house, so I'll just take the van now, shoot down what I gotta do, get those fish, go to another one, get some more fish, hooking up with Luke on that.
Are you?
Yeah, and then we'll bring them all here.
Yeah.
Stop and pick up some pastrami.
Yeah, if I don't know if
All
it
right.
has on Saturday.
You guys always
Stay fishy, my friends.
I love my Friday nights. This right here, and through there, and what was this one?